Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video, hopefully to avoid any emails that, I don't like to be inundated with emails if my instructions aren't as clear as they possibly could be. So sometimes recording a video for an assignment helps to avoid that inundation of emails. So this is the paper proposal and annotated bibliography. A couple of things to remind you. First of all, please make sure that you read through the section from Chapter 8 on writing an annotated bibliography. That is this section. It's just a couple of pages long. It explains a little bit more about what an annotated bibliography is, why it's important, and how you actually do it using MLA style. So they actually, I think they provide bibliographic citation in both MLA and APA. So they have examples here. The first one, well, this is a summary only annotation. Then there's a evaluative annotation. It's really up to you what sort of annotation you want to do for your chosen source. There's also a 3-sentence evaluative annotation, and this is in MLA citation style. Let's see what else you need to know. Questions for peer review, we don't really need that. So really just the first 2 pages here are the important ones. If you were to look further in the text, I think you would probably find an APA section, but I did not include that because we're only using MLA in this assignment. However, if you're familiar with APA, then you would just, the only thing that changes is the citation that you use before the paragraph summarizing or evaluating the text. So let's go back to the assignment here. Oh, no, this assignment. There is another resource that I'd like you to read through, which is the paper proposal and annotated bibliography assignment handout. These are also linked in the module overview, but I'm including them here just to keep you from going back and forth. And that is this handout here. It's almost exactly the same as the assignment on Canvas, with the exception that I actually have a sample citation with an annotation below. So this can be a helpful handout for you as well. So let's jump back to what you need to do for this assignment. This assignment, as you know, is in 2 parts. First, you have the paper proposal, which should be about 1 page. Second, you should have an annotated bibliography of 8 sources. So with the paper proposal, I need you to write the following. I want you to have a working title for your paper. So it's not going to be research argument or research paper. It will be something related to what you're researching, right? It could be one of your research questions. It's really up to you. Get a working title. The first paragraph, I want you to describe your topic. So similar to what you've already done, I want you to do it again. You may have changed your mind as you have started to research. Describe your topic, why you're interested in it, who else might be interested in it, why are you invested in it, that you want to research it, and finally end the paragraph with your 1 research question. So you did a little bit of this in the topic and research question assignment from last week. Now I want you to hone in on just that 1 research question that you've decided on. In the second paragraph, describe what your argument is going to be. What stance do you intend to take on this topic, right? So if you've already chosen a really good research question, then your stance is essentially going to be your answer to that question, right? So you need to make sure that it's an arguable position that you are taking, that your question provokes some kind of an answer or some kind of an argument. That way you'll have an easier way going about your research writing. And then in the final paragraph, I would like you to describe why you believe the way you believe in this about this topic. And then list 4 to 5 reasons or claims that you think that you'll be able to make in support of your argument. So that's the paper proposal. Try to keep it to 1 page. If you go a little bit over, that's not a big deal, but I don't want something super lengthy. It's a proposal. It's meant to be succinct. It's meant to hit a few points, but not to go super in depth, right? Now, the second part of the assignment is the annotated bibliography. You should be choosing your sources, right? You should be looking and researching already. You should have 8 sources that you want to summarize. And for each of those 8 sources in your annotated bibliography, you need to include the following. So first and foremost is a properly formatted MLA citation for that source. If you aren't sure how to do an MLA citation, again, chapter 24 in the text, excuse me, is all about citing and documenting sources. So it tells you everything you need to know about MLA citation. I may have even included APA in there. I can't remember if I did. So it goes through the whole, everything that you need to know about MLA citation. But once again, there is also that wonderful tool, Citation Machine. If you don't know how to use it, jump back to last week, look at some of the resources I have for Citation Machine. I have a whole video on it, how to use it. It's really a fantastic tool to help you with your citations. It's not foolproof. Sometimes you need to go in and edit the citation, but it's really a time saver as far as slapping together a citation, especially for an assignment like this. So the citation is the first thing that you need in your annotation. If you look at the example annotation that we have here, you'll notice that it is formatted a certain way. With citations, MLA citation uses this, what's called a hanging indent. And you can easily Google the answer for how to do a hanging indent, but I also have videos available with all of the MLA formatting that we've talked about before. This helps, especially when you have long lists of sources. It helps to break up the text, and it helps, it's kind of a visual cue for the person who is scanning your list of resources to see where a new source begins. So it's good to get into the habit of using that hanging indent with your MLA citations. So you start with the MLA citation with the hanging indent, and then you include your paragraph underneath. For this assignment, you do not have to have it double spaced unless you want to, but there are certain things that you're going to include in your summary paragraph or your evaluation paragraph, but this is essentially what it looks like. So you have your citation first, you have leave a space, and then start your paragraph. So in your paragraph, you should try to have about 4 to 8 sentences that summarize the source, provides key detail information that's used to support the author's argument. Then write a few sentences. Again, the guideline is 4 to 8 sentences explaining how that source relates to your topic. How do you plan to use the source in your paper? Sometimes it's just for background information to provide context on the target. It might be an argument in support of your own claim, or it may be something, for your counter argument, or how it extends or changes your thinking about your own project. It could also be that once you have looked at the source, you thought it was going to be perfect, but then you're not really sure you're going to use it. That is fine. For our purposes here, we're learning how to evaluate sources, how we can choose and select ones that are the best for our argument. And sometimes, the research process isn't all neat and tidy. Sometimes you need to throw out a source, right? But that's fine. For this assignment, you can keep it. Then you don't have to use it for your paper. So the sources that you have in this annotated bibliography, if for some reason they just aren't working for you and you need to find new sources for your research, that is fine after this assignment. Just get those 8 sources, right? And so the reason I make it 8 sources when for your research project you only need 6 sources is to give you that little bit of leeway, right? If you find a source that you thought was going to be good, but it turns out it's not, it's junk and you have to get rid of it, at least you don't have to go back and find another source, hopefully. Um, Note that the sources in your annotated bibliography should appear in alphabetical order. So just like your works cited list, right? If you remember from your high school classes, if you did any kind of research and you had a works cited list, that works cited list is alphabetically in alphabetical order, regardless of whether you have an author or not. It goes in alphabetical order. So, and again, in MLA format. This assignment is due on Sunday, October 13th. We will have a preliminary assignment that works with getting you familiar to creating an annotation that will be posted to the discussion board. So that is, in a nutshell, a really large nutshell. It might be a coconut, not a walnut. In a nutshell, that is the paper proposal and annotated bibliography. Hopefully that is clear for you. If not, make sure that you read through those resources that I pointed out to you. And if for some reason it's still not clear to you, you know where I am, right? I am happy to answer your questions and to say it in a way where something makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense for everybody, right? So you guys are doing some fantastic work. You've got some really intriguing topics, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of your research. Take care for now, everybody. Bye-bye.